Today we're going to look at three new angle properties, and we're going to use those properties to answer questions. So pause the video for a sec, and in the diagram below, figure out all the unknown angles. So what you would have found is angle A is equal to 94, supplementary. Angle B is equal to 86, it is opposite. Angle C is equal to 94, supplementary. Angle D is equal to 86, and so on. I'll do these really quickly. So all those reasons we talked about last day, here's what you would have found. Not measuring this time. But here's what I want you to notice. I want you to notice something about, well, what do you notice about these two angles right here? These two sets of angles. So what you should notice is angle E plus 86 degrees equals 180. And angle C plus angle D equal 180 as well. And each of these angles is called a co-interior angle. And co-interior angles are angles on the same side of the transversal inside. So co meaning same, interior meaning inside the parallel lines. And I guess I should have said that those are parallel lines. So co-interior angles always add to 180 degrees. Next thing you might have noticed is angle C equals angle E. So for example, right here, angle C equals angle E, and angle D equals 80. Angle D equals 86. Those are another kind of angle. So angle D equals the 86 angle, and angle C and angle E equal each other. They both equal 94. These kind of angles are called alternate interior. And alternate interior mean, first of all, the angles are inside the parallel lines, and alternate means they're on opposite sides of the transversal. Alternate interior angles are always equal. Now you could always look this up in the textbook as well. There'll be definitions. And finally, what you might notice about things like angle B and angle F and angle A and that 94 degrees, what you should notice is angle B is the same as angle F and angle A is the same as 94 degrees. And these kind of angles are called alternate exterior. Exterior meaning on the outside of the parallel lines, and alternate meaning on both sides of, or on either side of the transversal. And they will always turn out to be equal. So with these relationships here, you can answer questions really quickly and then use these relationships to answer or understand certain questions. So here's a classic drawing of all those parallel line transversal, the four angles. And again, pause the video for a second, go ahead and fill these out, list all the pairs of alternate interior angles, etc. So what you should have written with alternate interior is angle 3 is equal to angle 6. They are alternate interior. And angle 4 and angle 5 are alternate interior angles. The alternate exterior would be angle 1 and angle 8, and angle 2 and angle 7. And this will always be true. And finally, the co-interior will be, well, angles 3 and angle 5 are co-interior, and angle 4 and angle 6 are co-interior. And again, that means they will add to 180. Now again, if you drew yourself a pair of parallel lines and you cut a transversal and measured, this is the relationships you would always find. So the great thing about that is you don't have to do that. So here's an example here, just like I asked you in homework on the other day, and we're going to go through it really quickly, and some of our properties from last day will pop up and some from today. So sometimes it matters where you start and sometimes it doesn't. So I'm going to do them in, I don't know, particular order. So this one first, I'm going to figure out angle A. And angle A, I know is 110 degrees. And that is because angle A and angle 110 degrees are corresponding. So they're matching. That's what we did last day, corresponding to 110 degrees. Angle B, well, angle B would also be 110 degrees because it is opposite. That's what we did. It is opposite angle A. But we could also say today, because we always want to use the information given, we could say today that B is equal to 110 degrees, sorry, because it's alternate exterior to 110 degrees. So again, alternate exterior, alternate, either side of the transversal, exterior outside. Angle C. Angle C is equal to 70 degrees. And the reason angle C is equal to 70 degrees is because it is co-interior with angle A. So here's our angle A, and they are both on the same side. That's the co-part, and they're inside those parallel lines. And we know they add up to 180. And then finally, angle D. Well, angle D is also 70 degrees, and the reason is it is alternate interior with angle C, or to angle C. So again, this one right here would be inside those parallel lines, and they're on alternate sides. And this is what we want to do. We want to say something, what an answer is, and we want to give a reason. So let's have a look at this question. Determine the measure of the angles. So here are the two angles I want to figure out, angle A and angle B. And again, maybe it matters how you do it or it doesn't, but I'm going to figure out angle A first. So I'm going to say that angle A is 75 degrees. And the reason I know it's 75 degrees is it is supplementary. So we want to give our reason. And you can give a little shorthand if you want, supplementary to angle, and to angle 105 degrees. So last day we looked at this, and we saw in our homework and in the tutorial last day that two supplementary angles add up to 180, so we can do that quick little algebra. Angle B, well, angle B is a little trickier, and you have to kind of see something sometimes. So angle B, I'm going to say, is 69 degrees. And I know it's 69 degrees because along with, so with the 39 degrees, with that angle, along with that, angle B is co-interior with our 75 degree angle. So that's this idea right here. These angles right here are on the same side as the transversal. So here's that transversal, and I know it doesn't look like a line that goes on forever, but it is. And we know that all of those angles add up to 180 degrees. So what we could do is we could go, well, 75 plus angle B plus 36 equals 180. And then we can go ahead and solve that. And we'd end up with 111 plus angle B is 180, and angle B is equal to 180 minus 111, which is 69. Okay, so again, you might want to pause the video right now and go ahead and figure out all of these. I'm going to do it in a particular order. You don't have to do it the same way, but pause now, finish them. Okay, so I start off with angle B, and I know angle B and 125 are supplementary angles, so they add up. So supplementary with 125 degree angle. Now, I know angle C is equal to 75 for the same reason. It's supplementary with 105. Now, given I know that, I'm going to bounce now to angle D. So I know angle D is 75 degrees, and I could say vertically opposite to C, but again, it's always good to use the information as much as possible. So I'm going to say supplementary with 105 degrees as well. And now it gets a little bit trickier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bounce down. I'm going to have to rely on my calculations now, and I'm going to do angle E. And I'm going to say angle E is 55 degrees. And the reason I'm going to say angle E is 55 degrees is because it is alternate interior to angle B. So here's our angle B right here. Here's our angle E right there. They are inside the parallel lines and they're on either side of the transversal, and we know that they're equal. I'm also going to do angle A now, and I could have done this before, but angle A is 50 degrees. And the reason that angle A is 50 degrees is I think we know that the sum of angles in a triangle equal 180 degrees. So I know that angle B is 55, angle C is 75, and that leaves 50 left over. And finally, angle F. I could have done angle F after I knew D and E as well, and we could say angles inside of triangle for angle F as well. But also, I want you to notice that angle A and angle F are alternate interior. So that's the reason I'm going to use. We could use a few different reasons as long as they make sense and as long as you describe them. So finally, the last thing we'll do in today's lesson is use our angle properties and just mix in a little bit of algebra, which we've been doing. So in this example right here, I want to figure out all the angles. So I want to figure out angle 1, angle 2, and angle 3. And the first thing for us to realize is, first of all, these are parallel. But the next thing is to realize that this whole angle here and this angle here are alternate interior. So what we know is, based on alternate interior, we know angle 1 plus angle 2 is the same as angle 3. And then what we simply are going to do is we're going to substitute the values in for 1 and 2 and 3, and we're going to solve for x, and then we're going to substitute x and figure out the actual angles. Now the pictures might not be drawn to scale. So again, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to substitute. And then we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of equation solving. Remember, collect like terms. And we want x's on one side, numbers on the other. So in this case, I'm going to put the x's over here so they stay positive. And if I put the numbers over there, add 65 to both sides, we get 2x is equal to 90. So 2x is equal to 90, and x is equal to 45. So therefore, x is equal to 45. So we couldn't solve this if we didn't know our new properties, and in this case, alternate interior. So in going ahead in solving now, all we're going to do is we're going to plug in the 45 degrees wherever we see x. So angle 1 is going to be 45 plus 10. Angle 2 is going to be 45 plus 15. And angle 3 is going to be 4 times 45 minus 65, which is 115, and that checks out. So alternate interior angles allowed us to solve a problem that looked a little bit tricky. And finally, the last one, again, solve for x. And the key thing for us to note is these two angles. I'll highlight them, that angle there and that angle there. These two angles are alternate exterior. And alternate exterior are equal. I don't know what they are right now, but I do know they're equal. So in order to either figure out the angle, or in this question right here, simply solve for x, this is what I need to know. Alternate interior angles are equal. So again, I'll go ahead and solve. I always want to try to keep my x's positive when possible. And numbers on one side, x is on the other, and finally we'll end up with 24 is equal to 3x, x is equal to 8.